Every day I hear more and more Americans complaining about how expensive and difficult it is for them to live in America. But then I see the migrants are loving it. And I'm wondering why. Now we're starting to find out why these migrant communities don't interact with us in these cities. We're all finding out the truth. The truth is these families are in other countries. They're being recruited to come to the United States so that they can help vote illegally and so that they can create more congressional seats in certain districts. And because of that, because they are that important for their votes, they are rewarded handsomely. And I'll be honest, I'm just tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of being, I'm a second class citizen in my own country. I mean, first things first, they're already above the law. You see people right now in the streets. Are they like that in the streets for black and white Americans that are literally have committed crimes and police are arresting? No, but they want the migrants to be above the law. That can never happen. But that's just an example. Nick Shirley did another expose. He's in New York right now. And this is a person who works at a shelter with the migrants. The fact that we let people come over here, they're not just paid, they're in it, and they're literally compensated to be here. How do we let people come here from other countries just to get on our welfare that we have to pay for with our tax dollars? All of this is insane and it all has to stop. Let's take a listen. Actually, you know what? There's another video I wanted to play. Yeah, this one with Nick Shirley. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Again, this is the part that's frustrating for Americans, and this is what we have to fight against.
I'm here with a case manager working here in New York City that works with all the migrants here. Her face is blurred because she can't show who she is. We don't want to put her job at risk. However, she's going to be telling us about what is going on here and how the migrants are being treated and what they're getting as far as Social Security, money, rent, anything like that. We're going to be talking about that. So,
again, you have to listen a little closely. They're describing how these people they use Medicaid to get cash benefits, thousands per month. They use SNAP to get free food, Section 8 for free housing. They are paid to be here, but we have to pay to be here. That means they're technically better than us, and that's a problem.
What do you do here in New York City?
I am a caseworker supervisor. I work with a nonprofit organization, basically case managing the migrants' lives, providing them with any resources, referrals that they need, whether it's legal assistance, benefits if they qualify, any of those sorts of help.
And what are you seeing on a day-to-day basis with how these migrants are being treated and what they're going through?
I mean, I realize that I get to see both sides of the world. I get to see how many of these migrants, a lot of them do come for the need of asylum. Some are just taking advantage of the system. However, I know at first the best services of the food, it depended on the shelter, honestly. Some of them got good food, other shelters did not. It was frozen food. They recently just updated the services, and it's a better food kind of quality for the migrants. But now, due to their legal status, if they get their asylum, they get the TPS, whatever type of legal document that supports them being able to stay here, now they're able to qualify for legal public assistance, meaning food stamps and cash.
You can come, listen, there's no country on earth right now that I can leave the United States and go to as an American, and I can sign up for government assistance, and they will literally give me food, money, and housing. There's no country on earth that I could go to right now. Actually, you know what? I wonder what countries. Okay, let me ask my co-host Arthur. Hey, Arthur, quick question. Besides the United States, what countries could I go to as an American where I can sign up for like government assistance and welfare, where they'll give me food, they'll give me housing, and they'll give me Section 8, or like housing and like money for just for coming there as a migrant? what countries could I go to besides the United States where they would do that for me?
Certainly. While the United States has well-known welfare and assistance programs, there are indeed other countries that offer certain types of social support to migrants and asylum seekers.
Okay.
However, of
No,
course,
no,
I'll give you a
continue. Yeah, continue.
Absolutely. So, in addition to the US, there are several countries that offer certain social benefits to migrants or asylum seekers. For example, in many European countries like Germany, Sweden, and the Netherlands, asylum seekers can receive housing, a certain level of financial support, and sometimes assistance with food. These systems vary significantly by country in terms of how generous they are and how long they last. Another example would be Canada, which has resettlement programs for refugees that include temporary housing and initial financial assistance. However, it's important to note that these benefits are generally intended for asylum seekers and refugees rather than general migrants, and every country has its own specific criteria and process. So there are definitely places you could look into, but keep in mind the details and eligibility differ quite a bit.
Well, with any countries that you can find, which countries would accept me as a refugee from the United States? Who would take me in as an asylum seeker seeking asylum from America besides Russia? There's a lot of Americans over there, but I'm pretty sure I don't know if they have a welfare in Russia or how that works.
In general, it's quite uncommon for an American citizen to be granted asylum in another country simply on the basis of leaving the United States, as the US is not generally considered a country from which one would flee persecution or danger that meets international asylum standards. Countries typically grant asylum to individuals fleeing war, severe persecution, or human rights abuses. There are occasional exceptions, and theoretically, any country with an asylum system could consider an application on a case-by-case basis if you could demonstrate a credible fear of persecution. But in practice, it's extremely rare for an American to be granted asylum on those grounds. As for Russia, it's true that some Americans have sought refuge there for political reasons, but Russia's welfare system is not particularly robust compared to Western European countries. In summary, while you could theoretically apply for asylum anywhere, it would be a challenging route as an American unless you had very specific and credible grounds that meet the international definition of a refugee.
You know, it's wild that you say that because according to all the blacks and gays on the ground in Minnesota, they are being persecuted. The country's racist and oppressive, and they're in a war, and Trump and Hegseth and JD Vance are tormenting them every day, according to the internet and according to those two demographics on the ground. So I'm surprised that they wouldn't. Maybe they might start offering asylum soon. And I keep telling these people, if you hate the country so much and this country is so dangerous and so bad, take up asylum and go to another country and just claim persecution and just let them log into your Twitter. And that way they can see how bad it is. I mean, if you're serious about it. But okay, I'm glad you told me that, Arthur. Thank you.
So a lot of them are receiving those type of services from the government. Especially a lot of them come here pregnant. So as soon as they birth an American child, they automatically qualify for those public benefits.
So a lot of them are.
Wait, so you can come to the United States pregnant from another country illegally. If you give birth here, you automatically can get free benefits. And nobody's thinking that that should be illegal because you're literally paying this person to vote for you. You're literally bribing this person if they want to keep their benefits, if they want to be able to feed their baby, if they want to be able to live for free. You have to know who butters your bread. You have to vote that way, or you're going to lose your benefits. This is bribery, and they're literally bribing people. They have NGOs in other countries that are literally recruiting families, and they have them in Kenya. They have them in the UAE. They have them in different parts of Africa. They have them in Central and South America. These NGOs set up by the World Economic Forum, and they've literally been recruiting families to come. They said that they said all the Somalians are all controlled by Al Shabaab. That Al Shabaab has its own. It's like an NGO, and they recruit families to come, but they leave your other relatives over there in case you get over here and start mingling with the locals too much or talking, or you think about snitching or trying to break any of the rules. If they can't get to you, it's okay. You still have your family over there that they can touch. So that's how they keep control over these people. But the fact that everybody that comes to this country is literally elevated over Americans, that's why they won't speak to us. The last thing they want to do is they want us to mess up their hustle. If Americans only knew that everything we're working for is being given to illegals and migrants just so that they would vote for Democrats, we would riot. We would burn down cities because we're literally being robbed. See, that's the problem. When I say American first, when I say America first, that means Americans first. If you are an American and you're not trying to put yourself and your family above the needs of these migrants, and if it's not more important to take care of yourself than it is to virtue signal, then maybe you're in the wrong country. Maybe you need to go somewhere else, somewhere that you're proud of, somewhere that you're going to want to defend. Because literally dying over in this country to defend a bunch of illegals like Renee Bad did, what good is that? Because all these scamming ass, rich ass Somalians, I bet you not one is going to donate a penny to her funeral arrangements. Not one. Nobody. All that money from the Lear Center, your Lear Quality, they're not going to donate a penny to cover her funeral costs. But here she is out here trying to defend you. You should go and live where you're going to be the happiest. If you just love the Somalian people so much, move to Mogadishu. Live the way they live. When in Rome. But over here, the fact that there's a two-tier system where Americans have been on the bottom until now, it took Trump to come in here and literally put a pipe bomb in the entire system. Now everything's coming out and we're not having it anymore. But I just want to play these videos so you can see. We pay to live here. We pay rent. We pay for food. These other people are literally paid to be here. If they took away all their social services that made them pay for their own food, housing, and get a job, these people would leave. They don't love this country. You think those Somalians love snow? They don't. You think these people like living? Why do you think they won't learn English? They don't like it here. They don't want to be here. They'd rather be home, but they're sent here for work, not to look for work. Being here is the work. Being a warm body in the United States that's literally contributing to the congressional seats in certain states and voting for the left, that is your job. See, they figured out long ago, Americans are finicky. You could pay an American $100,000 and say, vote for me. And they'll say, yeah, I'll vote for you. They'll even sign a contract. But when they go in that booth, just to spite you, they'll vote for the next person just because they're not loyal. But see, the migrants, they're so dependent that they're solid for a generation, maybe two. After that, they're going to do their own thing, become Americans, lean conservative. But initially, when you want those benefits and you think that these are the people looking out for you, you're going to be loyal. This is insane. All this bribery, all the corruption, that's where all the money goes. It goes to paying these migrants to live here. I didn't even know this until the EBT scandal of October 2025, because I started looking at the town hall meetings and I'm noticing that people are going there and they're saying, hey, you got about 2 more weeks to turn my benefits back on or me and my family are leaving. And it's like, and I'm looking at this like, well, leaving where? I thought you guys were like refugees. Turns out they're being paid to be here. And if you don't keep paying them, they're gone. So again, we cannot keep allowing other people to be above us. That's not going to work anymore.
Receiving public benefits of the United States, and they're getting free money, free help from the tax dollars of the United States.
And cash assistance.
Hey, thank you, Ashley. I appreciate you being here and good morning. Like I said, I make these videos for us. We think about it. I never knew this is how everything worked. I'm pretty sure you didn't know. Most people don't know. And I come from an immigrant family, but when we came here, we're from a communist country. So when you're offering us free stuff, it reminds us of what we left, where you get free stuff in exchange for your freedom. So we don't want it. But when you come from these other countries, they're happy to take the free stuff. They don't really care about freedom and they'll do whatever they're told because they understand that, money talks. this is insane. Just listen to what she's saying about all the different benefits they're getting.
Services from the government, especially a lot of them come here pregnant. So as soon as they birth an American child, they automatically qualify for those public benefits.
So a lot of them are receiving public benefits of the United States.
Yes.
And they're getting free money, free help from the tax dollars of the United States.
Food stamps and cash assistance. Now we're hearing in the news that they're getting vouchers, they're getting paid to live a year upstate somewhere, a full year for free, right?
Like I just said, they are paid to live here. While you pay to live here, they are paid to live here. We pay, but they are paid. So they are above us. That is insane. If you agree that this is a huge problem that we need to address, well, that we're addressing right now actively, and this is what all the protests want to shut down, like the channel, subscribe, like the video. It puts me into the algorithm. More and more Americans need to know that this is happening. I'm pretty sure there are foreigners in other countries that are watching these videos, and even though they have pretty robust welfare systems, if they knew that the only reason why their government was bringing in these illegals was to basically replace them in the voter blocks and to entrench their own power, then maybe they would protest and do something about it as well. I know we will. And as long as we're able to talk to each other and let other people know that this is what's happening, it can change minds. I did a conference call earlier with some friends, and I explained to them that how much money these people are being paid just to be here. And everyone just lost their minds. Nobody could believe that we are living one way and they're living another. I mean, we thought it was bad enough that they're above the law, but now they're even above paying bills. So they're just better than us in every way. All because because the people in power need these newcomers to keep them in power, because we Americans wouldn't vote for them. I think that's all the left is. If you removed blacks, gays, and illegals, there is no Democrat Party. There's no left. There is no what is it in California? A super majority Democrats in California. Without fraud, disenfranchised gays and blacks, there is no left. And when you're looking around at those who are literally trying to burn the country to the ground, blacks and gays, and I would say the illegals are just, cannon fodder in this little war that they're waging against the republic. It's insane that they don't have a problem with this, because these are the people that keep them in power. They figured out the game. I just don't think it's fair. So I don't want to participate. And I'm tired of my capitalist dollars being used to fund this socialist utopia of communism for these people. I've had enough of it. I don't even want to do taxes this year until I know where my money's going.
So is this where our tax money is going? Like, I'm not, it's very difficult to say what America has turned to. Like, what about us, the people living here? What are you doing for us?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even watch this whole video, but she's literally saying what I've been saying for months now, because I just found this out. I didn't know this is what was happening. And we all need to start talking to more people around us. We have to understand we're being played. This is not fair whatsoever. Thank you, Charlie Halls. I appreciate you. And I'm glad you agree. We all need to be on the same page. We cannot keep getting scammed. They're not just scamming these governments. They're not scamming the welfare system per se, or even the medical system and the daycares. They're scamming us. It's money. Think about it. Our taxes are taken out for federal and state on all of our purchases, and then annually. And then what is it? They're taking money from us and giving it to illegals and migrants who don't pay taxes at all. They're paying those people for their votes, but they're not paying us for shit. I'll be honest. I probably wouldn't even complain about all this fraud if somebody told me, hey, Americans, there's a certain percentage, a decent amount of Americans are actually benefiting from all of this smoke and mirrors BS. But I'm not hearing that. All I'm hearing are people who won't even learn to speak the language because they have zero respect for the law. All I'm hearing is that they're giving money to criminals who do not want to be an American, hate the country, and literally break the laws because they don't care. There were no penalties until recently of being deported. I'm so glad Trump is putting things back into perspective. He's shutting everything down, and he's not even afraid. He's not buckling, and he's telling the media to their face exactly what he's doing. You don't have no idea how much of a breath of fresh air this is, because I remember Biden. He would come out, he'll say, and then everyone says, okay, the conference is over. Didn't take questions. We didn't know what was going on for years. And now we have a president that's transparent talking to us, and you're complaining. He wants to stop the fraud so we don't keep getting ripped off as individual Americans, and you're complaining. That is a problem.
How much money do you think it costs per migrant just for a day?
Depending on where they are sheltered, because that's basically what it's based off. Some locations, I would say, range from like 3,000 to at most 7,000. I'll say, depending on where they are.
A day, or
I think it's a month per month.
Per month, each migrant is costing about $3,000 to $7,000 here in the United States. And do they have to do anything in exchange for what they're receiving, as far as getting free food stamps? Do they have to work? Do they have to do anything?
Once they get the work permit, because that's the most how they get it, yes, they have to go find work, basically.
But before they're able to get it, do they have to do anything in return, or is it just free?
No, they did not.
And if they don't find work, they will stay on benefits indefinitely. There's no taking them off, because remember, they need them to vote. One thing about this country that no one knows, and that I'm making a big deal about it, is that there are no audits. I repeat, there are no audits. If you illegally vote, it counts. Even though you're technically nullifying an American's vote with your illegal vote, no one's going to go ahead and do an audit and say, hey, 100,000 illegals voted illegally, and we got to reverse the results of the elect. It's not going to happen, not for a presidential election. So fraud is legal, because you don't have to make something actually officially legal. All you have to do is just decriminalize it and allow it. That's the trick. You don't got to write a new law that got to get passed. What you do is you just decriminalize it. They've decriminalized being able to vote illegally. I say that because it's not enforceable. Even when they found irregularities and illegal votes, people aren't really getting arrested. They were arresting some people doing ballot harvesting and some people that were blatantly doing it, but not nowhere near enough people. So when it comes to these illegals, if they're in the country illegally, as long as they got an ID, which all these states are in a hurry to give them licenses and IDs, then they can vote. They're going to get a mail-in ballot. They'll let you drop off. No one's going to tell them they cannot. They're going to take it. And by the time the elections are over and they find out that illegals voted, it's too late. Therefore, that's all they got to do, and they can get free benefits forever. That's what I mean by the support for the left is entrenched, because these people are forever beholden. And the longer you're getting free benefits without having to work, the harder and more and almost impossible it's going to be for you to get back into wanting to work. You've been living for free for years. You can't just all of a sudden just start back working. That's not how it works. You know, it's like a muscle. It's like dystrophy. You don't use it, you lose it. These people are never going to go back to work. And you see a lot of them, we call them the homeless. They're not homeless because of hard times. They're homeless because many of them, it's a lifestyle. They don't want to work. But even the illegals who don't want to work are given free housing while the Americans are on the streets. And they do have programs for Americans. Americans just like to do what they want to do. I just don't like my money being given to people who are not from here, who do not pay into the system. Hopefully that's going to change soon.
Services provided this way. But that's just how the system is set up. Because even us Americans can apply, but that's how the system is. The poor just keep getting all those benefits, you know.
This is insane.
I'm here with a case.
They're literally buying votes. We got a whistleblower confirming it. Everything I've been saying lately. It's all coming out. I'm going to do another episode with part 2 of this video later on today. But I need you guys to please subscribe to the channel, like the video. I need you to come back in a couple of hours. Even if you missed the live, I'm going to post a video. I usually do like 6 or 7 hours after the live is when the videos go live again. So if you guys please wouldn't mind coming back, supporting the channel. I saw there was I think I got super chats almost available. That'll be in a few more days. Thank you for the Cash App, Amanda R. Thank you very much for supporting the media channel. And I'm happy to sit here and entertain you and give you information. So please stay tuned, share it with your friends. I'll be back shortly with another episode. Remember, America first, Americans only.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.